These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey weirdos, I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is a mini Morbid.
It's Elaine-centric.
It's Alaina Morbid, so it's a full Morbid.
I was going to say, it is not even a mini. It is just huge.
Yeah, I was really thinking at first that so this is a case, and I'll tell you what it is in a second, but you can all just hang on to your butts. It's a case that I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Love that.
And it's been sitting there just waiting for the right time. And I always thought it was going to be like a mini, because I thought it was like pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But then I dove into it.
And you were like, never mind.
And wowzer. So 8 pages later, we have
a full-length Morbid.
We have a full-length Morbid that's going to be labeled mini. But, you know, you guys are used to this by now. So.
I was going to say, you know what? What else is new? So
yeah, what else is new? I don't think there's a whole lot of, like, crazy news. We're going to be moving forward soon on, like, new merch.
Yeah.
New stuff for Patreons, which we are really excited about, and I think you guys are gonna like pee your pants in excitement. I hope so, at least.
I hope you're holding on to your butt.
Yeah, I hope all of you have to change your trousers when we tell you.
I like that. Change your trousers.
Yeah, and that's gonna be coming soon. We've been working on it really hard, so we're really psyched, and we'll let you know when that's going on. Other than that, I think the really only thing that we wanted to just quickly address was some new dates for the shows, because as we know, COVID-19 has just like roundhouse kicked us all in the face.
Yep.
And right as we were about to go on our tour, it was like, no, no.
It was like,
So-
say less. Say less.
Yeah, literally. So now we finally, and I know a lot of people have been asking, is this one going to be rescheduled? Luckily,
Yes.
they're all getting rescheduled, and we have some dates for you. So if you have tickets to any of these shows, hang on to them because they can be used in these new dates. And if you haven't got tickets to some of these places that are not sold out, go ahead and get some tickets, because even if they get moved, you can still use those tickets.
Get yourself a ticket.
Do it! All right, so as of right now, we have Philadelphia at the Punchline Comedy Club on August 11th. We have Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Improv on September 16th. We have Nashville, Tennessee at Zany's on September 23rd, and those are back-to-back shows. So 2 shows, one night, back-to-back, early, late. Get it. We also have Huntsville, Alabama at Stand Up Live on September 24th, so the day after the Nashville show. And we have Chicago, Illinois at Talia Hall on October 11th.
And that's 2 shows.
Yeah, that's also 2 shows on one night. So October 11th, Talia Hall, Chicago, Illinois. That's going to be fun. I'm excited. We also have Charlotte, North Carolina, which a lot of people have been asking about the North Carolina ones. Charlotte, North Carolina, Comedy Zone. That's going to be November 10th. Then we have Raleigh, North Carolina, Good Nights Comedy Club. That's going to be November 11th. So back-to-back shows, November 10th, November 11th in North Carolina.
That's so crazy. Those were going to be like the day after tomorrow.
I know, it's so crazy because it kept popping up on like my calendar. It would be like, today, Talia Hall, Chicago, Illinois. And I was like, no.
I saw it in my planner last week and I was like, oh, cool. I'll just go fuck myself.
Right? It was such a bummer. Such a bummer. And then we also have the Wilbur Theater in Boston, but that is moved to March 26th, 2021.
Very long time from now.
Very long time. But you know what? The good news is with that one, first of all, there's plenty of tickets left. So go get your tickets for that one.
Eat them up.
So yeah, go get those Wilbur Theater tickets. And we're excited because we have all this time now to make that show like a blowout extravaganza because it's like our hometown. So we got to make it crazy. And we're still going to try to have Emily Walsh, the comic stylings of Emily Walsh there. So so get your tickets for those shows. We are hoping, we're fairly positive that we're also going to be at CrimeCon in October. If that changes, we will let you know, but we're pretty sure we're going to go to the rescheduled date. We're excited about that. But I think that's really all we have. Right?
Cool, that's that. What the fook is your mini about?
So my mini/main is the story of Zach Bowen and the murder of Addie Hall. Now,
I don't know.
this takes place in Nolans, which researching this case makes me want to go to New Orleans so bad because not because of like the murder and all that, but like because it's just got like a vibe to it that I'm like,
it has like a spooky voodoo, old school, fucking coven, jazzy vibe.
Oh,
it's everything that we are in a city.
It really is. Like we're ready for you. Ugh. I want to have a show in New Orleans, and that is on my bucket list.
Oh my God. Coven themed show in Nolans.
Oh, we got to do it. That's all I could get out. I'm just like, so New Orleans, we love you. So this is a crazy tale. It is a murder-suicide, and it's just bonkers bananas.
Why do I feel like I know this?
You might know like the gist of it. But
okay, go ahead.
A lot of the information I got was from a book called Shake the Devil Off by Ethan Brown. Yeah. And Ethan Brown is like a journalist, and he got so much insider information in this case. Like he got a lot of background into Zach. He got a lot of background into their relationship together that I think a lot of people didn't know. I certainly didn't know. So I also used a ton of articles, which I'll link a few in our show notes. But all right, so let's go to October 17th, 2006.
Okay.
A guest at the Omni Hotel in New Orleans sees a man's body outside his window on a roof of a parking garage after hearing a thud and called the front desk.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he sees the body on the parking garage. He's like, holy shit. He had just heard like a giant thud. He calls the front desk. They call 911. Police get the call saying there was a jumper at the hotel. Because unfortunately, it's kind of common for people to jump off of hotels. But
Right.
So they show up and they find Zachary Bowen. He had jumped from the roof of the hotel and landed on a parking garage roof 5 stories down.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times it's like when people jump off of things, you either get like a very clean scene or you get like a really rough one, depending on what they hit.
Uh-huh.
So if he hit like the pavement below, it would have been a different story. But because he hit a roof, they said he didn't even look like too like mangled, essentially. They said it's just like a little blood coming out of his mouth. But other than that, they were like, he kind of just looked like he was like half asleep.
That must be so strange.
Right? It just feels like that would be a strange thing. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is very eerie. But so the police show up, they find Zachary Bowen, and when they surveyed the scene, they were like, okay, well, he was obviously dead right on impact. And they look inside his pocket, and there was a Ziploc bag. And in that Ziploc bag, there were his army dog tags with his name on it, so he was obviously in the military. Mm-hmm. And there was also a folded up note that said, for police only.
Oh, shit.
So they're like, oh, a suicide note. Great.
They're like, oh, that's for us.
Yeah, and they're like, you know what? That cleans up nice. Cool. Well.
I bet it was way confusing.
Well, then they open up the note. And it says, quote, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life to pay for the one I took.
Oh.
If you send a patrol to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie in the oven, on the stove, and in the fridge, along with full documentation on the both of us and a full signed confession from myself."
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. "The keys in my right front pocket are for the gates. Call Leo Watermeyer to let you in. Zach Bowen." So they're like, oh, this is not just a suicide. Okay.
This is a murder.
Yeah, this is a real bad murder.
On the stove, in the refrigerator.
In the oven.
In the oven, okay.
And then he's like, and there's also a full confession. Tell you everything you need to know.
Wait, okay, this does sound familiar. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So according to his friend, Zach left his friend's home that night with a bag of cocaine worth about $20. I don't know anything about cocaine or how much it's supposed to be worth. Sounds like that's a lot. I don't really know.
Cocaine's like very expensive, so I'm assuming it's not that much.
I would think so, but they made it seem like it was like a good amount, so I don't know.
I don't really know.
I don't know. Color me crazy. But according to hotel security tapes for that night, Zach went up to the rooftop bar at the Omni where there was a pool. He drank there from like 4 in the afternoon all the way until about 8:30 p.m.
I would be fooked up.
Oh, he surely was. He opened up a tab. He was heavily drinking the entire day and night. And just before 8:30 p.m., the security tapes show him pacing from the roof's railing to the pool and back again like several times, like he's contemplating.
Right.
At 8:30 on the dot, he walks up to the railing and just launches himself over.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So police are like, uh-oh. So they got to the address on North Rampart Street at around 10 p.m. and they asked the landlord, Leo, to let him into Zach's apartment. And Leo's like, what the fuck? What they found inside that apartment was an absolute horror show.
Yeah.
Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
All of us strands are in real danger, and whatever it is, it's closing in. It started with just a few lost hairs here and there, but now more and more of us are disappearing every day. But listen, we think we have a plan. A way to stop the shedding. Pantene Abundant and Strong. Go now. It's not too late.
Pantene Abundant and Strong. It's a 3-step system that reduces hair loss by 85%. Only the strongest will survive the shedding.
Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you will never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.
Now, before we go into what they found in that apartment, let's back it up a bit and talk about Zach for a moment.
Okay.
Because I think it's important to learn about Zach, and it's important to learn about his girlfriend.
Yes.
So in his adult years, there's really nothing to say that Zach was anything other than a totally normal and relatively unremarkable dude up until this point. He was well-liked, but, like, nothing crazy. Like, there's just not a lot that, like, totally stands out about him, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He didn't have this crazy temper, he didn't... You know, he was kind of known as, like, a somewhat of a goofball, but, like, he was also kind of shy. So he was just kind of there. And,
Just like
people...
a regular dude.
Yeah. And by all accounts, a very friendly, nice guy. People liked him. He did like to drink way too much. Mm-hmm. That becomes an issue later, but, you know.
And how old was he?
When he died, he was... He was 28.
Oh, okay. So, like, a little too old to be... continuously like heavily drinking, but also 20, yeah. So,
and he had, as you'll see, he had a lot of responsibility that he should have been taking,
not drinking and actually taking care of.
It seems like he was kind of trying to take care of his situation, but like it seemed like a lot was working against him as well. Okay. So he was born on May 15th, 1978. His parents were Zach and Lori. And they began he and his older brother Jed's life pretty like nomadic, actually. Like they had a VW bus and they took them like all over.
I'm so into that.
Yeah, they would I knew you would be. I'm not at all. Like that does not sound at all.
For that.
No way. And they ended up, like they would just camp out places. They would go, which is cool. They got to see a bunch of places.
Yeah.
They ended up settling in Ojai, California for a bit. And then they moved to Whidbey Island in Washington. And their marriage, the parents' marriage was like kind of on again, off again. They didn't really like break up or anything like that, but it was on again, off again good. It would be tough for a little while and then be really good. And tough for a while, really good.
Okay.
There's nothing to say that like there was any abuse or anything like that. It was just kind of a tumultuous marriage.
I was gonna say, yeah, it sounds pretty tumultuous.
Yeah, just not like volatile. So when they moved to Whidbey Island, this is when Lori and Jack's marriage really began to sour. He was staying out all night with friends, doing God knows what, like drinking, partying. It sounds like he just wasn't ready to give that up either. And he was leaving Lori alone with the kids all the time, and like it just wasn't happening. So
Recipe
Lori finally
for disaster.
Exactly. So Lori finally left him in 1990. She moved with the boys to Santa Maria, California. In school, teachers either loved Zach or they hated Zach. There was like no in between. There was just no in between. He was popular in school, but he was pretty shy. Like he was very shy, but like also goofy at the same time. You know, those kind of people.
Yep, for sure.
And according to those who knew him, he was also really friendly. He could be outgoing if he knew you, but he was into metal and grunge music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. One of the biggest disappointments, and one that his family points to as like a real thing that affected Zach for a long time, is something that might be strange to some of us as like a big disappointment, but it was important to him. So it was him losing Homecoming King.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it devastated him.
Wow.
Like, I guess he was like on, I forget how it works. It's like he was like nominated. Yeah, is that what it is? Like he was in the court.
It's different everywhere.
Yeah, and I guess he had to, like, give a speech, and he gave, like, he tried to be funny and say that, like, all these other dudes were, like, all dressed, like, really preppy, and, like, you know, they were the typical homecoming king.
Yeah, yeah.
And he dressed up with a cape on. Like, he had a black cape.
Oh.
And, which I'd like, you go.
You would have voted for him, for sure.
I don't know why he didn't win. That's awesome. And then they all were, like, you know, talking about their plans after high school and, like, really making it, like, serious speeches. And his speech included him saying that there should be a mandatory 2-hour nap period every day.
That's hilarious. That's, like, what you're supposed to say when you're leaving high school.
And he was joking. Like, he was saying it to be funny.
To make people laugh.
He didn't win, and everybody kind of treated it like you messed up by doing that.
Okay,
like,
so I could see where he felt like he disappointed other people.
Yeah, and I feel like he was really insecure also in high school, because the other thing is he's very tall and lanky, which later in life, you know, because all the shit that sucks in high school that kids don't get in high school,
it works out for you later.
Yeah, it becomes the thing that makes you awesome later.
Right.
So it's like, tall, lanky dudes are, like, where it's at. But it's like, in high school, you're gangly. And you exactly, at John. But in high school, you're in your awkward phase. So being taller than everyone is, like, makes it even weirder. And, like, it makes you insecure. So it's just, he was in the middle of that, like, weird, awkward phase. So having everybody kind of, like, reject him when he was trying to be funny, I think just, like, really crushed his confidence a little bit.
It makes total sense.
And this was just something that kind of, like, kicked off a lot of disappointments and what he looked at as failures in his life.
Right.
Because a big theme in Zach's life is his failures. He sees many, many failures happen in his life, and he beats himself up for it, and he kind of blames himself for everything. So after he lost Homecoming King, his grades started slipping. He had been doing, like, he had been getting, like, A's before that. Like, he was doing well in school. But this really shook him. So
it's, like, a little ridiculous.
It's a lot. I mean,
like, I'm gonna go ahead and, I mean, he's a murderer, so, like, I feel like I can say it, that it's, like, pretty ridiculous that you let that affect you that much.
Well, and it's like, I'm not here to tell anybody what should be important to them, but, like, don't peak in high school.
When you look at the grand scheme of life, there's going to be far more disappointing things than losing homecoming.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like, I'm going to be real right now. If somebody told me as part of, like, their, like, success story and I was homecoming king or queen, I'd be like,
cool, you peaked in high school.
I'd be like, are you really still using that? Like, are you really still telling people that? I don't know. But, you know, that was important to Zach. So
it's like a 1 on the Richter scale.
Right? It's just not really important. But to him, it was super important, which, you know, says a lot. So he ended up really fucking up school. He decided he was going to drop out, and he wanted to live with his dad in Washington.
Okay.
Now, he wasn't, like, you know, him and his mom were not, like, not getting along. Like, he had a fine relationship with his mom. I think he just, like, he thought he could start over in Washington.
I was going to say he wanted, like, a fresh start.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he was just like, I'm going to do this. So he decides that they're going to do that. So he does. And him and his dad end up going on this, like, crazy cross-country road trip together. Okay. Because, again, his dad has not really grown up a lot. According to Lori, Jack kind of was, like, the best friend and not the parent.
Right.
Which is not good. It
never works out.
Yeah, you gotta wait till later in life to be their best friend, unfortunately. It just sucks, but, like, you gotta be their parent first.
Or you might just not end up being their friend.
Exactly. If you want them, it's like in Modern Family when Claire Dunphy says that, like, your kids, once they hit, like, a teenage phase, they go around the dark side of the moon.
And then
you lose contact with them, and everything's weird, and you don't know what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden they come around the other side, and contact comes back, and you
don't you kind of feel like that with me?
Yes.
I was like, fuck you, Alaina.
I do. I really do. And then you just floated around the dark side of the moon.
I'm back.
You just got to hold on while they float around that dark side of the moon. That's all. So,
right.
So he's going, you know, to, I think they went through, like, Fort Lauderdale. They went to Savannah, Georgia. They went to all these cool places together. And then they passed into New Orleans.
Okay.
This is where Zach re-enrolled in high school. So he was like, because they settled in there, they decided to get an apartment, and he was like, all right, cool. So he re-enrolled. He kept in touch with his mom the whole time, obviously, because they have a fine relationship.
Right.
But he told his mom a lot of the times on the phone that he was like, I don't know. Like, this isn't really what I thought it was going to be. And, like, Dad's kind of like a fuck up. Like, I don't know. And, like, you know, I don't know if I'm getting along with people at school. He didn't end up finishing high school there. But he was digging New Orleans, the actual place. He was like, I like the place. It's just this is not what I want to do. So at this point, he was turning 18 years old. He was starting to be more confident at this point because he is 6'10".
Yo.
So he is very tall.
Oh, cur.
He's very tall. And as you can imagine, being that tall in high school is probably tough.
Yeah,
like more often than not. Because
I don't think I knew anybody who was 6'10" in high school.
That's really tall. I mean, John's 6'4", and that's really tall. So
damn.
Yeah, so he was 6'10", but at this point, he's starting to, like, grow into himself, because he's turning 18,
right.
Like, the baby fat is going away, he's starting
Puberty's
to, like...
doing him some favors.
Yeah, so he ended up turning into, like, you know, kind of a handsome-looking dude, he's 6'10", I mean, like, that's gonna stick out in the crowd, and it's like, so he's getting more attention, so he's
People
like,
are
I like this
I
place.
picked that guy.
Yeah, in New Orleans, it's like, you go out at night, and he's, like, he's
there.
where it's at right now. So... when Zach was 18, he met a 28-year-old woman named Lana Shupak.
Okay.
Lana had worked as a stripper for many years in Dallas and I think Houston.
Okay.
She was looking to get out of that. She was like, it was making money, but she just wasn't really wanting to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. She was visiting New Orleans with her friend, and she saw Zach while she was out on Bourbon Street with her friend, and she saw him selling Go Cups, which...
what is a Go Cup?
It's a foreign concept to us because, like, in the Northeast, because, like, you can't drink alcohol, like, out and about.
Oh, is it like a road soda?
Pretty much. So apparently he would hang out of a bar window on Bourbon Street, and he would serve to-go cups of alcohol to people on Bourbon Street.
A fucking dream.
And because he was, like, kind of handsome and, like, this, you know, 18-year-old stud muffin over there... they picked him to, like, lean out the window and, like, try to entice ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure, to come over to the window.
We loves a good marketing move.
We love it. It's smart. It worked out.
And Lana was like, break me off a piece of that.
Exactly. And I guess Lana and her friend walked up and were like, yeah. And I guess her friend initially was like, yeah, that's mine for the rest of the trip.
Dibs.
And then Zach ended up really liking Lana. And so the friend, which I was like, what a good friend. The friend backed off and was like, oh, he likes you.
I love that.
Like, which I was like, wow, friendship. Ladies,
squad goals.
Good job. Squad goals. So they hit it off right away. They ended up starting to date because Lana was like, I'm gonna move to New Orleans. Like, it seems like a cool place.
It was going great.
Yeah, she's like, we're dating, but, you know, New Orleans as a place seems cool. I liked it better there. I wanted to get out of where I am. I don't want to be, you know. So she was like, I'm ready to do this. So, Lana became pregnant with their first child, Jackson, early in their dating. And the problem is, Lana was 28 years old and Zach was 18.
Okay.
Lana did not know that he was 18 years old. She assumed he was at least 21 because he was working at a bar.
Well, did she ask?
I don't think she asked.
Kind of
so when she found out,
boyfriend how old he is.
Well, this was like before she got pregnant. She found out, but like I guess in the beginning, like when she found out, she got a little weird about it and like kind of pulled away. But then she really liked him, so she just couldn't.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like it's illegal or anything.
He's 18.
I think at first she was just like, he's like a baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be really good with commitment.
If he was old enough to like date a 28-year-old and like she seemed like it was okay, he obviously was like mature enough.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely... So... when she ended up getting pregnant, they were not married yet or anything like that. Not that it matters, but it was pretty early in their dating. And Zach initially was terrified when she told him the news. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Because he's going to be a teenage father at this point. Like, he's like, what? Like, I'm 18. And he was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not ready for this. And she was like, well, I'm keeping this baby. So, like, she was like, I don't know what to tell you. And he was like, holy shit. Like, he was freaking out. But then she says when Jackson was born and Zach held him, it was like a switch flipped.
Because that's when dads become fathers.
They truly do.
They need to
what is
see
the thing?
and hold
It's
and
like,
bond their baby. Women become mothers when they find out they're pregnant. The dad becomes a father when they see the baby.
Yeah, because it's easy, because with mothers, it's like you're
the intuition
housing
is already,
the baby.
Yeah, you're already taking care of the baby.
Yeah, so it's hard for fathers to feel as connected until they have that baby in their arms.
Me and my therapist talk about that legit all the time.
Really?
Yes.
I love that. It's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Zach, with Jackson. She said he immediately shifted into this amazing dad. He was totally focused on this child. He was like, I want to be here. I want to be a better person for this child. And he also started being a better partner to her as well. She said it was
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was like, it literally flipped. Soon they decided to get married. I guess it was this really big ceremony in New Orleans at this church where a bunch of tourists showed up and it was this big event.
Why does it all go wrong?
I know, that's the thing. It's this whole thing is oh, this is great. And then at the end you're like, oh no.
Oh, this is bad.
It gets real bad. So they get married and then Lana gives birth to a daughter, Lily, soon after.
Oh, I love the name Lily.
It is really cute. And again, Zach was fully committed to this. He was like, I am a dad. I am psyched. He even went back and got his GED in 2000 because he was like, I want to do this for my kids. Yeah. So then Zach was like, I want to make sure I can give them a good life. So he decided he was going to join the military. He wanted to join the army because he was like, I can get insurance. I can have security. I can, show them how to work hard. Yeah. So at the time, this was in 2000. So at the time, he was going in, and there was no war going on.
Uh-huh.
But once the war began in 2001, after 9/11, he had to go and do a tour in Kosovo and one in Baghdad.
Okay, so he has insane PTSD.
Oh, this is definitely a case. I fully believe that this is very heavily reliant on the fact that he has severe, unchecked PTSD. This is for sure.
Breaks my heart because it's like...
Yeah. It's avoidable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like if he can... I should say avoid... This action could have been avoidable if he was given the help that he needed.
And it's not always readily available.
No.
Especially back
it's
then.
not readily available. It's also not, there's still that stupid stigma, especially on men.
Don't ask for help.
Of don't ask for help, don't go to therapy and stuff. And it's they're supposed to just suck it up and move on. It's like,
it's
no,
quote unquote man up. And it's,
after and hearing what he saw and knowing what other, military members see, it's no, that you need help, to get through that. I couldn't imagine trying to work my own brain around this kind of stuff.
No.
So his military service seemed to definitely change him as a person. Mm-hmm. He afterwards, like we said, he became super depressed. He definitely suffered from severe PTSD. And what happened was he lost a few people over there that were very close to him.
Right.
And it really, really got to him.
Well, and he probably looked at that like it was his fault.
Yeah, there was this young girl, I believe she was 19 years old. She was one of the only women in his unit, named Rachel. Mm-hmm. And they became super close. They were all... And his whole unit with this girl was, super close. They were, attached at the hip. Yeah. And she ended up dying, being killed in action.
No.
And she was one of the first women to be killed on the front lines, but she was only 19 years old. She was a child.
That's insane.
And I don't mean that in an offensive way, she's a child, 19,
no,
you're a baby. I feel it's you know what I mean? You're so young, you have so much ahead of you. But she was killed. He was there when it happened, and his whole unit took it as really bad. was really, really hard on everybody, especially him. And then there was a time where he gave this little they said it was a little Iraqi girl. He gave her a handful of candy because she was just playing in the street. Yeah. And he found out that she was killed the next day for interacting with Americans.
Oh,
and
my
so
God. So
he took
felt
that
that
as
was his fault.
I just killed a little girl, essentially.
Right.
And then there was a little boy, a little Iraqi boy named Rashid, and Zach took a huge liking to this little boy. He would bring Zach and his like friends in his unit, his fellow soldiers, like Coca-Cola and bags of ice from his family's store, because his family owned a store nearby. And so in return, Zach taught him English, and like really bonded with him. This kid was like there every day.
Well, and you have to think he has kids. Like, he's
Oh,
a
yeah.
dad.
Yeah. Well, one day, insurgents blew up the store and killed the entire family.
For helping the Americans?
No, it was just like,
It just happened.
And they said that they said it could have been partially what was going on. I mean, we don't know, but
Right.
it definitely could have been that. But either way, it was just the idea that like he was there one day and not there the next day.
Oh my God.
So he was already like a mess, and everybody in his like military unit said they like I think it was the author of that book that I mentioned, Ethan Brown, I think his name is. He talks about like emailing later all of his like military buddies to try to get like more information, and they were all like, "Don't you dare say anything bad about Zach. Like, he's an amazing person." Like,
oh my God.
they were all just like really shocked that he could
Yeah.
do what he did, because they were like, that is just not him. So
Right.
obviously he does something beyond horrific later, but it's just, I just want to point out like how much of a dichotomy this is to like
Well,
what
and it's like
people
mental
saw him.
illness can make you somebody that you're not.
Oh, it's horrifying. Like, PTSD is
Untreated.
no fucking joke.
No.
No fucking joke. So he left the military after purposely failing his physical tests over and over and over again. He was doing it on purpose so he could get back to his family.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. And he left with a general discharge. Now, this isn't the same as like a straight up honorable discharge. It's honorable, but it's not the same as an honorable discharge.
Okay.
He was not happy about this, because a general discharge, it's like a general discharge under honorable conditions, which means that your service was satisfactory, but it did not deserve the highest level of discharge for performance and conduct.
So why?
Basically what they're saying is like, you must have gotten in some kind of like disciplinary issue or something like that, but he didn't. So
Right.
he was very confused and angry about this discharge, and people around him were too. People were like, what the fuck? I think they even had a lawyer like try to change that, because
Was
they
it
were like, I don't
because
understand.
did they catch on to him like purposely trying to fail the fitness test? Could that
That's
have
what
had
I
something to do with
wonder.
it?
That's what I wonder. I don't know if that's something that would do it, but I mean, if we have any military members that can shed light on
let us
this,
know.
let us know, because we love hearing about it. But yeah, so he got a general discharge under honorable conditions. Lana decided, so when he came back to her and was like, I'm discharged from the army, I'm stopping this whole thing, Lana was pissed, because she was like, you know what, we need to separate, because she felt betrayed that he was like, now I'm gonna go work in a bar again and you can go back to stripping. Like, and she was like, what the fuck? Like, you said you were doing this to make us a better life, and now you're just like, fuck it.
Right.
So, and they were already having issues, like, you know, because he was going through a lot. I think she was going through a lot with the kids, and it's like, it just was a strained
recipe for
relationship.
disaster. Again.
Exactly. So they separated, and in 2005, so they moved back to New Orleans. In 2005, he began working in a bar in the French Quarter called Hogg's Bar. Apparently, he was very popular with the ladies as a bartender there. And one fellow bartender was not interested in him at all. And she was a woman who was like, she was like, I don't understand it. Her name was Addie Hall.
I knew it.
She was 29 years old, originally from Durham, North Carolina. She was an artist. She was a dancer, a seamstress, a poet.
Damn.
She was living this very, like, free-spirited, bohemian, exactly what you think of when you think of, like, someone just living on Bourbon Street. Just, like, you know what I mean? Like,
love it.
It's the very romantic notion of, like, this bohemian girl.
In my next life.
she definitely, I know it keeps making me think of you, but not this part, because she portrayed that on the outside for sure. And she was an incredible seamstress. She was an incredible artist. She had all these talents, but whoo boy, did she have a dark side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Gemini?
I mean,
Just
but
kidding.
she was very, she was very carefree. She was artistic. She had come to New Orleans and lived in her car before finding her first apartment. She ended up living with a playwright friend who said about her, quote, "She was so smart, it just killed me. Her poetry was very, very good. And when it came to sewing, she could make anything from anything."
Oh, that's cool.
So she sounds awesome. Like,
Right.
she seems like if she had certain things under control, she would have been awesome. But there was a very dark side to her. And in 2003, it got real bad.
Okay.
When she drank, which she drank a lot, and she drank very heavily.
Well,
which
she's a
so did
bartender on
Zach.
Bourbon Street, so.
Exactly. And so did Zach. So now these are two things coming together that are just not good. When she got drunk, it was like a straight up abusive because
Oh, that's not good.
yeah,
obviously.
it was not good. And what she would do is she would find your weakness or something that you're like the most insecure about, and she would just dig the knife in. That was like what she was known for.
I had a stepdad like that.
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
Not funny. I'm like, LOL.
You're like, funny because it's true. But yeah, like that was, and that's what people do. Like those kind of drunks, that's like, they're real good at it. They're real good at that.
Literally, I was going to say it's like a talent.
It truly, truly is.
Even if you don't tell them what your weakness is, they'll find it. They'll know.
Yeah. That's the thing. They know. They can find it, they can sense it, and they will use it against you the second they have too many drinks. And that's what she would do. So she had a lot of friends. She knew a lot of people because she was kind of like this, like, you know, fairy girl who just like floated around and was like just doing everything. But they all knew that she had a really dark temper when she got drunk. Like they all knew this. Some of them were fine with dealing with it, but others were like, there was a time, especially in 2003, I believe it started, where people started dropping off a little because they were like,
yeah, cool, we're not into that. And
yeah, like,
grow up.
One too many times you call me something terrible and I can't do it.
Yeah.
So when she wasn't drunk, when she was sober, she was awesome. That's the thing. When she was great.
A lot of people are like that.
Exactly, but then she was a different person when she drank too much. So in 2003, this is when she started getting into like bar fights a lot. Like she was getting way more violent with her behavior when she would drink, and she was drinking way more. She was also getting into cocaine, so she was going on like coke rages on top of getting like crazy drunk. So it's like just a lot of bad stuff happening with somebody with that kind of temper.
Right.
She went through a ton of roommates at this time because she just like couldn't hang on to somebody.
Makes sense.
And she started hanging out with a lot of coke dealers, which ended up not being a great idea because she even tried to rob a coke dealer at some point with her roommate.
Girl.
Yeah, and her roommate was like, "No, I'm good." And like she was just, you know, she was drinking too much, so she was starting to fuck over her friends. And she was getting into a ton of like a string of relationships with like abusive men. It just was a really bad time for her.
Yeah.
And so this happened up until about 2005 when she met Zach. And this is when she was working at, you know, this bar with Zach. And
she didn't get why everybody thought he was the tits.
no, because she said, she was like, yeah, he was cute and like whatever, but like he's kind of goofy and he's like a frat boy and I'm not like into it. Like she was just way too, she was like, no. And this intrigued Zach. Because
they always want the one that's not fucking interested.
Exactly. So it was like the one girl that's not falling all over themselves for him. He's like, wait a second, who's this girl?
Yeah.
And he said he was immediately attracted to her. He just really liked her. She was fun. She was smart. She was spunky. She was artistic. She was just everything you think someone from New Orleans is going to be. Like just this awesome, you know, just colorful person. So what he did to gain her favor finally is he was working the 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift, I believe.
Yeah.
So the middle of the night. But he was actually making a lot of money because this happened to be a favorite bar of people that are working those kind of hours around town. It was like strippers and dancers and other bartenders, people that are awake in the middle of the night.
Yeah, like come wind down.
Yeah, so we got a lot of business. But she worked the shift that was directly after his shift. So like the 10 a.m. to whatever shift.
So she didn't get the great people.
Yeah, pretty much. So he would work his entire shift and then he would just sit at the bar and just chat with her while she worked.
Mm-hmm.
And just wanted to get to know her, wanted to just hang with her.
That's cute.
So finally, she gave in. She just gave in. She was like, you know what? You're super persistent. You're pretty cute.
And you're nice enough.
You seem like a pretty interesting person. So they end up finally starting to date in 2005, finally.
I love love. I hate that it ends.
I know. It ends very poorly. So they're dating. They're having this like whirlwind romance. And everyone's like this adorable couple that's just partying and is just, living in New Orleans, just doing their thing. Then Katrina hit New Orleans.
Oh, no.
Yes. I'm sure people from New Orleans can, shed more light on what it was like there. But everyone was evacuating at this point.
Hey there, I'm Kat. I'm a college athlete. I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, which caused back pain and stiffness every day. With Cosentyx, I'm able to stay active.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with active psoriatic arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, or non-radiographic axial spondyloarthritis. Available in both IV infusion and self-injection. Don't use if allergic to Cosentyx. Get checked for TB before starting. Increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like TB or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Move and feel better. Ask a rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
Right. And because the storm was coming. But Zach and Addie refused to leave. They were like, nope. So they were like, we're going to ride it out in our apartment together. And Lana, Zach's, soon-to-be ex-wife, she wanted him to come with her and the kids. They were like further away. And she was even like, bring Addie. Like, you can bring Addie. Just, you need to come.
Woman.
Yeah. And she was like, you can come, just bring Addie, and we all need to be together. Like, I'm worried about you.
We're a family.
She said that he was very callous on the phone and was just like, nope, not coming, refused to come with his kids.
Yeah, that's shitty.
What the fuck, dude? Like, you don't choose your new girlfriend in this, like, crazy, like, let's stay behind for the hurricane thing over your kids.
Grow up.
So I guess, like, when they hung up the phone, she was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you have kids. Like, come here. And he was like, you'll be fine. And then that was it.
Yeah, but, like, what if they're not?
And she was like, so that's dickish.
Or what if you're not? Dude?
Exactly. That's the thing. It was like, this was that young, I was a father very young, so I didn't get to live out my craziness time where he starts making stupid choices.
Right.
So once the storm had passed, they still stayed, even though they didn't have electricity, running water, or any supplies, because we all know how Hurricane Katrina was handled by the government at that point. They were not getting any help at all.
Yeah.
Most people were not back in the city, but they were already there with this like small band of people that refused to evacuate. Mm-hmm. No running water, no electricity, nothing. They basically went into naked and afraid mode. But
I was gonna say, literally.
Literally. Like, this turned into survivalist living, but they loved it. Like, loved it.
Right.
They became super well known because of this choice to stay with this group of like people that were like the renegades who are staying behind, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And they all banded together. They sat outside at night where they lit mattresses on fire for like warmth and to like cook food. And they made like a makeshift bar and restaurant outside of Zach and Addie's apartment where they cooked beans and like other food that supplies they could get. They like made drinks because they went and like just stole alcohol from bars that were like abandoned at the time. And they were both bartenders. So they were making drinks for everyone. It was like this little commune kind of thing going on.
That's awesome.
And at the time, they were getting attention for this. Like, papers were covering it and stuff. Like, there's pictures of Addie and Zach in a lot of papers because of this.
From
like,
Katrina. That's crazy.
Because people started knowing who they were. And they became like kind of like the king and queen of like the post-apocalyptic society there. Like, and they also routinely went about trying to clean up the mess together. Like, all these people, like, they would clear debris and like pick up trash and just try to like clean up the streets. So it seemed like kind of a cool, like, a little like renegade society here. They also broke into a bunch of bars. They stole the alcohol. Like, they were, they were,
well, I don't love that,
but like, you do what you do. And they broke into like some grocery stores that they would like take canned goods and stuff like that. Because again, this was all abandoned at this point. Like, everybody's evacuated.
Yeah.
They appeared just to embrace this whole like weird New Orleans that was just like this little group of people that had chosen to ride it out. And then they started like looking at it like we're the true New Orleans people, like New Orleanians, you know what I mean?
I don't know if that's fair.
Even though they weren't, because they're from North Carolina and, California, but but like, okay.
And also, like, that's just like, that was just a choice that you made. Well, it doesn't make you any better than anybody else.
Like, that's really like that's ridiculous. And
it's a lot.
But it became like a whole thing. The way it's described and everything I read is like they became very close during this time and they bonded because they had to, basically.
They had no other choice.
Yeah. They would like ride around holding hands on their bikes. They were like attached at the hip everywhere they went. People were like, look at these really romantic couple
movie
of just like bohemian, free-spirited lovebirds just walking around. They
fucking goals.
Things I read said that they would like have sex in the street in the middle of the night. Like, it was just like total like, just like give no fucks, just like we love each other kind of shit.
Lit.
Which it's like, whoa, like that's so much. All of this is so much. And you look at this and you're like, wow, this can only end happily. And it does not.
No, you look at that and you're like, that's not gonna end well.
I know,
like,
I feel it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Like, if I wrote this in a book, I'd be like, no, you can't write that. That's silly.
This is like the escalator to the top and you're like, oh, everything's going so well, and then you crash and fucking burn.
It's the roller coaster. It's the slow climb to the top and then
the plummet straight down.
So yeah, people are like, wow, look at this weird ass romance, and like, let's write about it in newspapers, and like, everything's wonderful. In fact, the newspapers at the time were referring to these people who left behind, who like stayed behind, as like tribes. Like, they were calling them tribes.
Makes sense.
In a New York Times article, it also mentioned that Addie was very good. I mean, again, she's a free spirit. She doesn't give a fuck. She was very good at keeping, because again, like I said, this is like post-Katrina, when everything's still very up in the air there. It's dangerous there at this point, because it's like lawless at this point, you know what I mean? Because there's no electricity, nothing. It's like things are a little hairy. Sorry if you just heard that bang, but I dropped something. So
how dare you?
So there was police presence happening at times, but like, you really needed to be careful about where you were going at night and like what you were doing. But Addie was very good at keeping police coming to their home to like help them out. And the way she was good at this was, and here's the quote in the New York Times paper: "In the French Quarter, Addie Hall and Zachary Bowen found an unusual way to make sure the police officers regularly patrolled their house. Miss Hall, 29, a bartender, flashed her breasts at the police vehicles that passed by, ensuring a regular flow of traffic."
I mean, Mardi Gras, am I right?
I love that she's just like, all right, I'll just use my tits and I'll get some police here.
They're there for a reason. Girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
Like, she would be awesome if she just kept it together.
Yeah.
So, sounds great. Wasn't all great, though. Like I said, outside of their little bubble of their little like community they were making, there was like death, destruction. You know, she was nearly raped at one point when she went into an abandoned grocery store to grab some supplies, there was like a man hiding in there, like waiting.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so it was really scary. So soon after all of this, the 82nd Airborne Division of the Army was brought into New Orleans to from Fort Bragg, and they were there to help with the aftermath. They were there to help with peacekeeping,
rebuild,
search and rescue, like all that stuff. Exactly. Problem with this was they were watching this from their balcony, like watching these like hundreds of soldiers like just march in and tanks and stuff. This was
Zach has PTSD.
Yes, and this was extremely triggering for Zach's PTSD.
Mm-hmm. It's just like 4th of July, like fireworks, like anything like that is going to be a huge trigger.
Exactly, and like we said, his PTSD is very significant and very unchecked. So this was not a good thing. Started with the flashbacks. I mean, that sends him into like a spiral. And he was using drugs and drinking because he was also like doing tons of coke. He was like drinking like a fish at this point. Like every picture of them, they are either smoking, drinking. Like there's never, they're just
not a substance.
They never let up. They just lived that like very fast, very hard lifestyle. And he's using this stuff to like check that PTSD, like drown it out. And all it's doing is like just amplifying it until it's just going to explode.
Right.
So that happened. And add on top of this the fact that Addie was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And the storm had stopped her from refilling her prescriptions. So she was unmedicated at this point, and she remains unmedicated. So this brought for a lot of volatility between the two of them, because there's a lot of psychological issues happening that are not being treated correctly. So the then mayor ordered that police and military, quote, compel the evacuation of all persons from the city of New Orleans, regardless of whether such persons are on private property or not, or have no desire to leave.
So, like, you gotta go.
Because they were like, you gotta get out of here so we can, like, start getting shit back together, and, like, this is, like, gotten too far.
Well, and at that point, you should probably want to so that you can have your city be rebuilt.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, just, you know, just help out with this stuff. It was you know, an act of nature. Nobody can help that. Mm-hmm. So Addie and Zach, with some other people, again, refused. They refused to leave. They were pissed. They said they were trying to take their rights away, and, like, we have the right to stay here.
I feel like they're just trying to help you.
I feel that way, but they held out. And a week or two later, everyone who had evacuated started slowly coming back in, because they were slowly being let back into their homes and all that. And this is when, like, Addie and Zach became, like, very superior about, like, these people coming back in. They were like, oh, you're coming back now? Like, this is our town, you know what I mean? Like, they started getting very superior about what they... And one of their friends said, quote, they liked camping out. They liked not having to work. They liked not having the responsibility of paying bills. They didn't like the change back to normalcy.
Well, then go live in the woods.
So it ended up being that they did really well with this, like, romantic notion of, like, we're going to live this survivalist lifestyle together.
Or, like, why don't you just go find a commune?
That's the thing. Like, go live it, man.
You can live that way if you'd like to.
Yeah, you totally can. And what happened was, like, they started fighting again. The romance is dying. But before this is starting to get, like, really volatile, they still had to, like, rebuild, you know, what they already had along with everybody else. So they started living in kind of like a commune situation in their apartment with a bunch of other people. Mm-hmm. And people said they used to talk about their, like, post-Katrina love story all the time and, like, romanticize it and tell it like it was this big epic tale. And friends said they appeared to be deeply in love. Like, deeply in love. People said Zach looked at Addie like she was the only woman on earth. And they said
I love that.
Zach told his mother that Addie was his soulmate. Like, things looked like they should go in the right direction. But now, again, life is slowly returning to normal from this crazy Katrina stuff. And the bohemian veil is starting to slip now. Mm-hmm. Now we're in real life. So, remember, this is all well and good, but we have to remember that Zach straight up abandoned his children during this. Like,
right.
This is not like the sure, romance, fun. You straight up abandoned your children and the mother of your child. Yeah. He didn't send messages. He didn't answer messages. He didn't send money. He wasn't paying child support. Poor Lana has no fucking clue whether he's dead or alive at this point. She thought he was dead at one point.
Yeah.
And so when her children asked her, like, where's daddy? Because they were asking, like, is he okay?
Did she tell them that he died?
No, she said that, I told them that he was working for the Red Cross, and he was helping build levees, and he was helping people rebuild after the storm. Like, he's a hero.
Wow.
Like, she's telling her kids that because she's like, I don't know what else to tell them. Like, that's the only thing I can think of to keep them thinking that he's this wonderful guy.
That's
when he's
what you're
abandoning.
supposed to do.
Yeah. So, like, good on you, Lana.
As hard as it is, that's what you do.
That's like amazing to me. I was like, good for you, Lana. Like,
yeah, I love her.
Damn. So Lana said that so she's like, I just wanted them to be proud of him. Finally, they get back in touch. She finds out that he's alive. And then all of a sudden Zach is like, I want to see the kids. So Lana's like, Jesus Christ. Well, Lana's like, all right, you are their father. They miss you.
Yeah.
I want you to have a relationship with them. But she says, listen, I need to meet Addie. If she's going to be around these kids, I need to meet her.
Very fair.
At first, Zach was like super weird about it and was like, yeah, no, like she doesn't want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, then you don't fucking see the kids around her. Like, it's real clear. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But apparently, according to friends, when he went back to Addie and was like, this is the deal, like, I want to have the kids
pissed.
over the apartment, Addie was like psyched to meet the kids.
Oh,
she was like, let's do
good.
this. So apparently she ran out, bought clothing for Jackson and Lily, was like psyched about
that's
it.
nice.
But then it came down to it and she sucked. She
Why?
sucked
what did
at
she
the
do?
stepmother thing. She refused to even speak to Lana. She would not speak to Lana, which she has no fucking reason to not speak to Lana.
I was gonna say, what's your reasoning?
And Lana said this a million times. She was like, in like the source I was reading, the article, Lana's like, listen, I could have had Zach back if I snapped my fingers. I was done with him. Like, you don't need to worry about it. I'm good.
Right.
Like, what the hell? She refused to speak to Lana, and then then people said, and the kids said, that when they would go visit Zach and Addie wouldn't speak to them, like wouldn't interact with them. Just
That's
totally
so
flipped the
bizarre.
switch.
But do you think it's because she was bipolar and unmedicated?
I wonder, because she's unmedicated, so it's not
Right.
being checked, and I'm wondering
Right.
if this situation is just like throwing it into haywire.
High gear. Yeah.
And so she refuses to speak to them, doesn't interact with them. The kids said that they didn't think she liked them.
Well, duh. She's not talking to them.
At this point, they're like 7 and 5. Like, they're
Yeah.
like young. They said she would go out to bars all night, then come home drunk and lock them out of the bedroom that she and Zach were in.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then she started saying that then she started saying to Zach, when the kids come over, you have to go to a hotel with them. You can't stay here.
But why though? Like, what the fuck?
That's the thing. So it's like, what the fuck, dude? There's so much strangeness when it comes to Zach and Addie's behavior.
Yeah.
But particularly Addie's behavior. By 2006, and like, let me be clear, I don't think I need to say this, but like, clearly she did not deserve anything that she got later.
No,
but
obviously
this is
not.
just reality, what was going
It's
on.
just what happened.
And I think it's important to show what a crazy ass relationship they had, because
Right.
it didn't just come out of nowhere. By 2006, the couple was just partying, doing tons of drugs together, and then they would get in insane fights, like all the
Right.
time. Addie was super abusive physically and verbally. But Zach came right back at her verbally, at least, and there was no serious reports of physical violence on his end. But
Yeah.
there was one time where they woke up after a huge fight and she had bruises on her arm.
Okay.
And so that's, nobody really knows, but that to me points at you were beating the shit out of each other, or he hit you. So
Yeah. Or he may have like grabbed her arm
Yeah.
to like stop her. You don't know.
all it mainly says to me is like, you guys shouldn't be together.
I was gonna say
That's pretty much all
Or
it
maybe
says.
you should stop doing drugs.
They would break up and get back together a ton of times. Friends said that it was just getting super dark and they were getting wicked worried about them. Like, they were getting embroiled in the whole thing. They would kick each other out of the apartment regularly. And then they would
when
chase...
it comes to that, it's like,
Yeah.
like, what's the point of being together?
Well, and I
Do you
think
want to
they
live
just...
like that?
I think they did. I think they loved
Yeah, I think
this.
some people do.
Yeah,
They love
because
chaos.
Exactly. And I think they would kick each other out of the apartment and then they would chase the other one down to like beg them back. So I think it was this like fun, like they needed this. It was like they need the craziness.
No thanks.
And it was so toxic, like so toxic. Friends said at the end they would break up and reconcile literally every other day. Like every other day, like 24 hours apart they would do it. In August 2006, Addie was actually arrested after one of their fights. She stormed out with a handgun into the street,
shit.
started a fight with a dude, like a random dude on the street, and pointed the gun at him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't be out there doing that.
Yeah, and Zach refused to post her bail. So the friends had to put together money to get her out of jail. So already it's just looking bad. It's looking bad. Zach was constantly moving in temporarily with friends and then moving back in with Addie. It was just insane. Zach then, finally, in 2006, he decided that he was looking elsewhere for companionship. Now, he started having a relationship with another man.
Okay, but did he end things with...
No.
Yeah.
I'm not sure...
Was that okay with... Oh, like,
I'm not sure exactly their togetherness
what
at the moment.
What their agreement was, yeah.
But it doesn't look like there was an agreement that he could do this because Addie gets real mad.
Okay.
So he's starting to understand at this point that he's bisexual. And he's not exactly comfortable with it yet, so he's trying to hide it. But eventually Addie found out.
Right.
So Addie finds out that, you know, he's cheating on her with a man, and she loses her shit. Like, loses her shit, causes public scenes. She's calling him homophobic slurs in front of people, like literally calling him an F word, like screaming it in the middle of the street at him.
That's horrific.
Then she called every woman in his phone and told them that he had AIDS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he didn't, by the way.
Yeah,
not that it matters, but like...
Not okay.
Holy shit.
How do you even come up with that in your brain? Like, how are you like that mad that you're like, this is what I'm going to do?
This is what I'm going to do. I think it's going to work. And this, I just can't imagine living this way.
No.
Like, why are you into this? Why is this what gets you off, dudes? Like, this is not okay.
Some people, though, like, that's their personality. Like,
oh, they love it. Some people love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people thrive on it as a couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not good. So, because at this point, Addie's really, like, going off the rails at this point, and she's scrounging together money because she was kicked out of her apartment. She's not working a lot. She's like friends said that they saw her like using quarters to buy groceries once. Like,
oh, that's really sad.
So she needs money. So she's pissed at Zach for this whole thing, but she convinces Zach to pay for a new apartment.
Okay.
Because Zach is working like 100 jobs at this point because he's paying Lana child support at this point. So he's trying to,
that's good at least.
And he's seeing his kids every other weekend. So he's trying to like maintain that. So he's working like crazy. So she's like, listen, we will get back together. Let's live together in this apartment. Let's have a new start. Let's
not
wipe the slate clean, but you pay for it. So Zach is like, cool, let's do it. So this is the apartment.
He loved her.
This is the apartment on North Rampart Street. And they sign the lease together, but then days later, on October 4th, Addie secretly had the lease put only in her name.
How do you even do that?
She just went to the landlord and was like, put it in my name. Oh. And then she suddenly kicked him out of nowhere.
So basically, she tricked him into buying her an apartment.
This was after he paid 2 months' rent ahead of time.
Right.
So she didn't pay anything, had him sign the lease, got him kicked off the lease, then was like, you're homeless, see you later.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And it's like, dude, okay, he cheated on you. I get it. You're mad. But, like, just break up with him and walk away. You do not need to do this kind of shit. Like, that's petty shit.
Maybe, like, spit on his car or,
like, absolutely. Like, do something like that.
You did the whole phone book thing, like...
Exactly. You know, just... And
have
honestly,
a girl's night and yell about him. But there's a line.
And, like, take it from someone who's been, like, super cheated on by my ex-boyfriend. there's really nothing you're going to do that's going to make it feel better. Like,
No.
the only
At the
thing
end of
that
the
you
day,
can
you just
do...
you just have to let it happen.
Yeah, like, just dip. Like, that's all you can do to make yourself feel better is say, fuck off, and just leave, and then leave it behind
And get
you.
better for yourself, you know?
Exactly. Like, putting revenge out on him is not going to make you feel better. It's just going to make it messier. And in this case, it made it real messy. So, like we said, she was basically scamming him to get the apartment. Apparently he was really upset. He loved her. He thought they were going to try to work it out. And he was mostly upset because he was taking the kids that weekend.
And now he had nowhere
And
to
now he's
bring them.
homeless. And he was saying, and even Lana's father, like his ex-father-in-law, said that when it came to being a father, like
He
when
was for
Zach
real.
put in the time, he was great. And that's all that mattered to him. And those kids gave him purpose. And especially with the whole thing going on, like, you know, the military stuff, the perceived failures that he keeps seeing in his life, those kids like grounded him. So I think now that he's looking at being homeless, not being able to take them, like all this, he's starting to spiral. So
Right. That's really sad.
so that night that he found out on October 4th, like that she had signed the lease just in her name and was kicking him out, they started fighting and they fought for hours. I mean, just knockdown, drag out, constant hours. And it ended with him strangling her to death.
Wow.
He was not violent before this. He was actually the one in the relationship that everybody was like, he was the level-headed one and she was like the volcano, and they balanced
Right.
each other out really well that way. So it was shocking for everybody to be like, wait a second, he lost it?
He did that to her.
Like,
right.
so this second floor apartment, it was a second floor apartment that they lived on. It is over a very interesting landmark, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But police went up and we're going, you know, now they found, I'm going to like go forward
Fast
for a
forward little
second.
bit.
When police found Zach's body, they went up and found the apartment in a crazy state. It was a mess, an absolute mess. There was trash all over the floor, alcohol bottles, cigarette butts, beer cans, you name it. He had left the AC blasting, so it was what police referred to as resembling the feel of a morgue freezer or a meat locker.
Oh.
The walls were covered in black spray-painted words, conveying Zach's obvious mental decline before his suicide. The messages said things like, call Lana Bowen, and then her phone number.
Oh my
I
God.
loved her. Total failure.
That's really
Another
sad.
wall said, help me stop the pain. That was above his bed on the ceiling.
Oh my God.
In the bathroom, it said, I'm sorry I couldn't finish. And then there was a message on the wall that said, look in the oven.
Oh.
Ominous as fuck, right?
Yep.
So they look in the oven because it told
This
them to.
this story is so, or this case is so like bananas that it doesn't even seem real.
No, it really
This
doesn't.
seems like a book or a movie.
Like the spray painted words, like look in the oven and like
in a
please
movie
make the
you'd be like,
pain
okay, that's
stop.
overkill.
Yeah, you'd be like, this is fun fantasy. Like, it's not real. Well, they look in the oven, which on the front was spray painted on the door with "Don't look." And is sitting in a tinfoil lined pan was a set of charred feet and legs. In a pot on the stove were hands, and then in a bigger pot, a woman's severed head.
Oh my God.
The New York Post at the time, which, like, leave it to the New York Post, put a headline out that said Gal Pal Gumbo. Isn't that fucked?
How did they even put that out?
Oh, they get to do whatever they want. They put out
What
the
the fuck?
craziest headlines ever. Her torso was found wrapped in a garbage bag in the refrigerator. And they found an 8-page confession that was written in the last pages of Addie's journal.
Okay.
So part of these said, so the first thing it said was, quote, she had stolen this apartment, tried to kick me out, then would not shut the fuck up, so I very calmly strangled her. It was very quick.
Oh.
He said, quote, after sexually defiling the body a few times, I was posed with the question of how to dispose of the corpse. So before he did anything, he went to sleep with her dead body in the living room. Like, before he cut her up, he just left her body in the living room. Woke up the next morning and went to work.
Oh.
Yeah. He told one of their friends there that they broke. He was like, "Oh, Addie and I broke up," and she left.
Imagine if he was your bartender that day.
Yeah. And he was also working at a grocery store, so I think this was like I think he was like a delivery guy.
Okay.
He had a full day visiting friends, living pretty normally that day. Later that night, he dragged her into the bathtub and began dismemberment using a knife and a hacksaw.
A knife?
Yep. And he said, in his confession, he wrote, quote, "I came home, moved the body to the tub, got a saw, and hacked off her feet, hands, and head. Put her head in the oven after giving it an awful haircut. Put her hands and feet in the water on the range." He then said he got tired after a while, and he said, quote, "I got drunker, and some hours later turned off the stove, filled the tub with water, and passed out." So then he said he was off for that weekend at work. So he was like, "I had tons of time to get this done." But he said, quote, "Due to laziness, I spent most of that time coked up in various bars with different girls."
Can you imagine being one of those girls?
Can you imagine?
Oh.
So during this time, and these are like days passing by, like he's just living in that apartment with her rotting corpse that he's slowly pulling apart.
Were her like, is it extremities? Is that the word? Boiling? Like,
he roasted most of them. Like, he charred them. A lot of them he charred like beyond recognition. There's also no evidence that he ate any part of her, and that what it looks like is he did this purely to get rid of her, like to make it easier to dispose of her.
But you have to think he's literally sitting in that apartment. Like, if you're cooking a flesh,
oh yeah,
it's gonna smell horrific.
Oh yeah, and people start smelling it. And during this time, he called Lana, and he had her bring the kids to his work. This is when he was working at the grocery store. And she did say, she said he was happy, jovial, in a very good mood, told the kids, "Grab all the candy you want on me." Kids were all excited. Then
do you think he wanted to live out like perfect last days?
Oh, he definitely did. That was because then he gave Lana $600 in cash and child support, and asked if he could have the kids the following weekend, because he was like, "Addie left. Can I have the kids at the apartment?" And he said, "I'm renovating the apartment. I really want them to come over." And Lana's like, "Cool. Yeah, definitely." So she tells the kids, like, "Want to see Daddy next weekend?" And they were like, "Yeah."
Right.
Like, cool. Now, Addie's still just on the stove. And, like, part of hers in the bathtub. Yeah, part of hers in the bathtub still. So he writes, quote, "Sunday night, I sawed off the rest of the legs and arms and put them in roasting pans, stuck them in the oven, and passed out. I came to 7 hours later with an awful smell emanating from the kitchen. I turned off the oven and went to work Monday. This would be the last day of work." So one of their neighbors in this apartment was named John Boutte, and he remembers seeing the bathroom light on the night of the murder. And he said he just couldn't stop like paying attention to it, because he goes, the light was on all night. It never shut off. And it gave him like a weird vibe.
Okay. Yeah.
He just didn't like it. This neighbor had lived in the apartment that apartment that he killed Addie in before. And he had moved out because he felt so weird in the place. He said that place has bad vibes. Like, it had bad vibes to begin with. And he actually said he had a priest come and bless it before he left.
Oh my God. I know, like, halfway through I realized the case you were talking about, and I remember, I want to say I heard this on My Favorite Murder, and they were talking about
Oh, really?
How the place was like fucked up.
It's bad juju. And he lived in a few more units in that building, and he said he never felt okay. Like, he never felt like he could actually live there. So he said it just had bad energy. He didn't like it. He eventually moved into a small apartment in the back building, and that's where he was living currently. So he said the night of the murders, not only did he just watch the light on all night, and he was like, "What the fuck?" He said he also thought he saw someone outside his window, standing on his balcony. And when he went over, there was no one there. But then he said he kept seeing what he called like shadow figures out in the backyard. And he said he was like
God.
getting really freaked out. He ended up calling a friend over to like stay with him because he was so freaked out by it.
Yeah.
And he says in the book that I read, he said, quote, "This is an old city with old spirits. Don't tempt them."
Right.
Which is like,
I was going to say that's like on some New Orleans or Nolans stuff.
some Nolans stuff. So like I said earlier, this apartment sits on top of a well-known landmark.
Which is?
That landmark is the infamous voodoo spiritual temple
I was going to ask.
run by priestess Miriam Shamani.
I was going to ask.
She's very well known,
Yes.
very well respected, very well liked. She actually blessed the marriage of Nick Cage and Lisa Marie Presley.
Into it.
Which, you know, Nick Cage has a tomb in the St. Louis cemetery at New Orleans, like ready for him.
You know, I do think I've heard that.
And it's like a
one of my friends,
pyramid.
Lindsay, is like obsessed with Nick Cage.
I mean, who isn't? And it's a pyramid. It's like the weirdest looking tomb when he finally goes in there. But according to the website for this voodoo spiritual, I'm sorry, what is it called? The Voodoo Spiritual Temple. According to the website, quote, "It is the only formally established spiritual temple with a focus on traditional West African spiritual and herbal healing practices currently existing in New Orleans. It has been serving New Orleans natives and visitors of all nationalities for 27 years.
Wow.
So it's like well respected, well known. Of course, people took this and were like, oh, he must have been under demonic possession and like it's voodoo and it's all this is what it is. It all made him. But I think he was just very sick and very at the end of his rope. I think that's what it is.
Maybe it contributed.
I mean, it is.
I'm a big believer in things like that, so.
I just think, unfortunately, a lot of, like, news outlets pointed to Miriam, like, Priestess Miriam, and being like, she must have had something to do with this bad energy and this bad vibe and stuff, and it's like, I don't think that's true. Like, I think she's a nice lady from all accounts. It's like, I don't think that was it.
This was a series of very unfortunate, very linked events, and I don't want to say recipe for disaster anymore.
Yeah, it definitely is, because I don't want to point to these outside forces as having something to do with it.
I think
like,
that minimizes it.
Zach did it. Like, he chose to strangle her. He chose to do this. Obviously, there were psychological things at play, but so on that Sunday, he and a friend, this neighbor, John Boutte, and his friend were outside the apartments having like dinner, I think. And his friend was like a doctor, and his friend was like, what is that smell? Like, what am I smelling?
Oh, no.
And John was like, yeah, I don't know. I've been smelling that, but like, you know, and I think he says in the book, like, you know, New Orleans has tons of smells. I didn't know what it was. Like, it's just a smell.
Yeah, I mean,
And I guess the doctor was like, that smells very familiar. Like, that's a bad smell.
And he's like, and I'm a doctor.
But they were kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to stay out of it and just eat my dinner and go on my life.
Nolans.
So now 3 days after killing her, he said he came home from work and the boiling, rotting body parts and the rotted corpse smell and headless torso was suddenly horrifying to him. Zach.
Yeah.
Like,
as it should be.
He suddenly came home and was like,
have been.
Oh no. So he wrote in his confession, quote, halfway through the task, I stopped and thought about what I was doing. The decision to halt the first idea and move to Plan B, the crime scene that you are now in, came after a while. I scared myself not by the action of calmly strangling the woman I've loved for 1.5 years and then desecrating her body, but by my entire lack of remorse. I've known for forever how horrible of a person I am. Ask anyone. And decided to quit my jobs and spend the $1,500 cash I had being happy until I killed myself. So that's what I did. Good food, good drugs, good strippers, good friends, and many loose ends I may have had. I didn't contact any of my family, so that'll explain the shock. And had a fantastic time living out my days. It's just about time now.
Wow. It sounds
Isn't that so fucked up?
It sounds like he was like in a very manic place and then he finally realized what happened.
Yep.
And I almost feel like it's one of those things where they were the kind of people that wanted to be so extreme that he wanted that letter to sound extreme.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just like He's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, this is what I did, and now I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory kind of thing. Like, he's like, whatever. And he went ham at strip clubs. He slept with multiple women during this time.
Oh, God.
He spent tons of money. He did tons of coke. He drank himself silly. He partied. And in the days following, he drunkenly called Lana in the middle of the night at one point to try to get back.
Lana.
Oh yeah, and he's like, meet me. I want to see. At one point, he said to her, "I want to see my favorite stripper."
Oh,
and
that's
she
really
was
degrading
pissed.
and
She was
rude.
like,
Yeah,
fuck you. And she refused. She's like, no. And he's like, I just want to meet with you. Let's have a drink. Let's celebrate our like time together. And she was like, listen, we're
also,
both.
Who says that to the mother of their kid? Sorry, that thought came to me so late.
Exactly. I was like, what? And he's like, let's celebrate our time together. And she was like, we're both in different relationships now. Like, that's not appropriate. No.
Right.
Like, we're not celebrating our marriage while we're in different relationships. Like, go away. And he got pissed. Like, was like, fuck off. So a week of Addie rotting in that apartment, he was still living there and still partying his ass off. He went back home Sunday and burned himself 28 times on his body with a cigarette, once for every year he was living. And then he wrote out everything that he perceived to fail at. So he said
and the list started with homecoming.
All his regrets in his life. In his final like note page, he wrote friends, jobs, military, marriage, love. Every last one of these I failed at. And this is when he spray painted all the walls. He left to party one last night and jumped off the Omni Hotel.
Wow.
Now, New Orleans police detective Tom Moravich said when he came on the scene, quote, in 10 years in law enforcement, I had never seen any scene that disturbing.
That's like the inside of somebody's brain.
Nightmare.
Almost.
A nightmare.
Right.
And Lana was informed of his death when she, and they told her where he had done it and everything. And she said when she heard that it was at the pool, like the pool deck at the Omni.
He used to take the kids there?
He used to take her and the kids there, and she felt it was a personal way to hurt her.
I mean, yeah.
And one of the kids ended up like being very scarred by this. The Lily ended up having a ton of like stomach issues from it, like couldn't get past it. I guess like Jackson just became very like introvert, like he like held it inside a little bit.
You don't realize what you do.
Yeah. Like this was, I mean, he destroyed so many lives with this. Mm-hmm. One of their good friends, Zach and Addie's good friends, Capriccio, I think his name is, Addie had dated him at one point. They stayed with him at times. They hung out with him. They confided in him. Zach worked at the grocery store with him. When he heard the news, he said, quote, I was floored. It's just not something that is reachable. There are times when you can put yourself in someone else's shoes. But then there are some things that are so beyond our grasp of what we are capable of, or what we understand ourselves to be capable of. We cannot go to that length. That's what this is. It is surreally untouchable. It stays where it is.
Yeah.
And that's such a good way of saying it. Like, that is so far removed from what I can put my brain into. Like, that kind of behavior.
It is.
And friends said they were shocked that Zach had done this. They said, you know, Addie was unpredictable and violent at times, but they were like, Zach was level-headed. They had a tumultuous relationship, but they seemed to love each other. And their apartment was added to a well-known ghost tour in the French Quarter, where like people go by it and will be like, that's the New Orleans murder house. And
you need to let like 50 years go by before you start making tours of crime scenes.
I know it's one of those tough ethical and moral lines, but ghost tours and like those kind of things, I'm like, I get it. I see both sides of it. Like I see both sides, because I just can't. Yeah. I can't sit here and pretend that I wouldn't go on that ghost tour. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm morally like opposed to going on that ghost tour. I feel like
I'd be pretty opposed.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd drag me to it.
Yeah, I totally believe you. I can't lie to you listeners. I can't do it. I would go on that ghost tour.
I'm firmly sitting here and saying that I don't shame anybody for doing that. But
I'm not saying it's right.
there's a what's it like a level of or a certain amount of time that should pass.
Yeah.
I think this people... A grace period.
Yeah. I can totally see both sides. I just can't. I can't lie to you guys. I can't do it.
Man.
I love you so. I can't lie.
That's what makes the podcast, is those
exactly.
two very separate personalities.
Exactly. So just a couple of last things in this hour and a half mini Morbid.
In this main episode. TBT to when I thought I was doing the main episode this week.
In 2016, Paranormal Lockdown, that show, they did an episode where they locked themselves in the apartment for 72 hours.
No.
And they got EVP that says, "You are not alone," and strangled to death.
That's horrific.
Then there's a crazy connection to another dismemberment in New Orleans. Addie was best friends with a woman named Margaret Sanchez, who, along with her sex offender boyfriend, Terry Speaks, murdered a dancer named Jaron Lockhart and dismembered her body. We're going to cover that. I think I might cover it on the next mini because it connects to this. You should. And I think it would be nice to like connect right into it. So we'll go further into that in the next one. But that is the fucked up, crazy story of Zach and Addie.
Wow, that was bananas. And I feel like it's really sad because I feel like, well, all murder is like so preventable, but when mental health takes a part in it, it's like you wish that those two people could have gotten help.
It's true, you really do, because there was things I read too that said Zach tried to talk about it with some of his friends, and some of his friends like that were like outside of the military, and some that had served already, and some of them weren't exactly super like helpful with it. Like they were kind of like, what did you see that you're so fucked up from? Like they were literally
just,
like
multiple extreme deaths,
which just pushes them further into believing they shouldn't be asking for help. So it's like, that sucks.
Right.
And then Addie had, unmedicated bipolar. That's a recipe for trouble when they both got together.
Mm-hmm. Well, as always, thanks for listening, and you can find us on Instagram at
Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter,
A Morbid Podcast.
Send us a Gmail,
morbidpodcast@gmail.com.
and you can listen to us anywhere that there are podcasts.
Do it.
Because you can. We hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
It feels so wrong to do one right now.
Sometimes I thought you were going to do it for this one.
I don't know. I
thought you were going to do it.
They're all wrong to do. Hold on.
I was going to say, aren't they all wrong?
They're all very wrong to do. I just don't know if my morals and my brain can go there today.
Your wrong and my wrong are different. I suppose.
I'll try next time.
All right, we'll get you back. Bye.
Hey there, I'm Kat. I'm a college athlete. I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis, which caused back pain and stiffness every day. With Cosentyx, I'm able to stay active.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with active psoriatic arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, or non-radiographic axial spondyloarthritis. Available in both IV infusion and self-injection. Don't use if allergic to Cosentyx. Get checked for TB before starting. Increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like TB or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Move and feel better. Ask a rheumatologist about Cosentyx.